Everyone evacuated because of a wildfire west of Loveland is allowed to go back home. The last orders were lifted within the last hour and a half for the so-called Sedona Hills Fire. We're glad you're with us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark. So this fire burned about 12 acres near Carter Lake, and firefighters got a complete handle on it within the last couple of hours. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch has more.
About half a dozen people evacuated here during those mandatory evacuations. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office says those evacuations lasted about 4 hours and voluntary evacuations lifted just before 9. Berthoud Fire says the fire popped up on a slope, making it harder to fight. Larimer County says winds and dry conditions didn't help either. The Sheriff's Office says while last week's rain and snow was a nice break in hot, dry weather, it wasn't a remedy for fire danger in the area. The sheriff actually recommended fire restrictions be increased since last week. 10 total agencies plus a helicopter worked together to contain flames. One homeowner says this is the third time in recent memory he's had to evacuate due to fire.
This is the scariest because it's the closest and was the largest one that's close. I know there's been bigger fires, but this one was, if the wind had been in the right direction, we'd be in trouble.
We don't have a cause at this time, though the Sheriff's Office does say that may become available in the next few days. Berthoud Fire says crews will remain on scene overnight. In Loveland, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Meteorologist Kathy Sabins along. First, hot day of the year.
Yeah.
Like not just warm, today felt hot.
It was hot, 85. Yeah, some 90s in southern Colorado, but the wind was a big concern today with a dry front approaching from the north, and that really kept things interesting in the foothills and kept fire managers on their toes for a while. Northwest winds 15 to 30 miles per hour in a day when we're seeing low humidity and then temperatures way above average. It's still very mild out there, and it's 10 o'clock in the evening. Thankfully, the winds have come down just a bit. With that weak dry front coming in, there's limited moisture with it, so we're dealing with poor air quality on top of everything else. There's an ozone action day alert for tomorrow for high levels of ozone. So those in the sensitive groups need to kind of be mindful and thoughtful of that. Not the best snow year, 33 inches for the season, a season we should have 56 inches, but there may be a little moisture for us on the horizon. Not with this incoming front tonight. So we're going to be concerned with elevated fire danger going forward over the next couple of days with highs in record territory. Really nice readings overnight tonight. Temperatures in the 50s at the bus stop, but your weather headlines include the summer weather pattern and what that means in terms of fire danger and record high temperatures. So I'll have that extended forecast coming up.
People across the metro area saw the black and yellow smoke rising out of the Suncor refinery in Commerce City today.
Suncor says, don't worry about it.
Oh,
everything's fine. 9 News reporter Spencer Soysher joins us after talking with some people who are worried about it. Spencer?
Yeah, Suncor says the smoke billowing from its Commerce City refinery today didn't reach acutely dangerous levels. This is the second time in a month that the refinery has had a power issue, and tonight there are questions about whether enough is being done to hold Suncor accountable. There's no new pope. The Olympics aren't happening in Commerce City. And if you ask Suncor, this dark smoke going from their refinery into the air is no big deal.
Here we go again, honestly.
Former Commerce City City Council member Renee Chacon has spent years fighting for tougher rules at the refinery.
I'm tired of their allowable violence to my community,
Suncor and XL Energy say a power line tripped Monday, knocking out power at all 3 of its plants. And the flaring and heavy smoke came after. Suncor and the state health department say the air monitoring system shows air pollution is below unhealthy levels.
But I will tell you that I can't imagine that what did come out of those smokestacks was healthy for folks.
Adams County Commissioner Steve O'Dorisio points out the refinery had a similar power issue last month.
This is more than just what's happened in the last month or the last year. If you look at the overall impact of exceedances of emission standards over time, you will see a clear pattern.
Since 2024, Colorado has been examining whether it needs tougher rules for Suncor, but it's not ready to act yet.
And we have nobody to protect our environmental health right now.
A lot of folks in the community don't always understand what they're breathing. They don't always understand, but when they see stuff like today, they don't feel safe.
Suncor did send out a community notification today saying there was smoke and flaring visible and, quote, no action by the public is required. At least one community group says that message told people there's nothing about the chemicals in there that were being released or how to protect themselves from them. They want more accountability from Suncor as these things keep happening. Kim and Kyle.
Spencer, thank you. This weekend's death at DIA is raising questions about security at the airport. Late Friday night, somebody got through the airport's perimeter fence, went onto a runway, and was hit and killed by a passenger plane. DIA, we should say, is the largest airport in the country by landmass, by area. It has 36 miles of fencing with barbed wire designed to keep intruders out. We know that there are cars that patrol the perimeter. We don't know all the specifics about the airport's security layers, but we do know there are also cameras everywhere. They captured the person walking out of the runway 2 minutes after they jumped the fence.
Biggest question with this particular event is how did this person breach that operational area, getting over a 12-foot fence with razor wire?
An airport spokesperson says 12 passengers on the plane had minor injuries. 5 went to the hospital. Investigators have not yet publicly identified the person who was hit by the plane.
The FBI is investigating another Frontier flight. It was disrupted after an ammunition magazine was found on board. It was supposed to take off about 8 last night. Then the ammo was found. Frontier says they deboarded and rescreened everyone. The flight was rescheduled to early this morning. Frontier didn't clarify where the ammo was found, but the airline thinks a law enforcement officer on a previous flight left it behind. The FBI is investigating.
One person's in custody after an 86-year-old woman was shot while sitting in her car at an intersection in Commerce City today. It happened at 60th and Monaco this afternoon. Police believe the woman was innocently caught up in somebody else's mess. We don't know the extent of her injuries, only that she went to the hospital. Police asked people nearby to stay inside while they search for the person or people involved in the shooting. We have not heard back from Commerce City Police about whether that search is over and how the woman is doing.
Prosecutors will decide if a man should be criminally charged after a deadly shooting in Thornton. Police say he killed a man who was trying to break into cars. It happened about 3 yesterday morning in a neighborhood near 98th Avenue and Washington Street. Thornton police say a 34-year-old was shot after being spotted attempting to break into cars and trying to get away in a pickup truck. He later died at the hospital. The person investigators believe to have fired the shots was arrested and then released. 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says if there isn't evidence showing the man was justified in fearing for his life or someone else's, he could face real legal trouble.
This is a recurring issue that unfortunately people simply don't seem to believe. You cannot use deadly force to defend property. If someone is stealing your truck, it's property. You have no right to open fire.
Thornton police say it's not clear whether the pickup the man was driving was stolen or whether the man who died was armed. What's unknown is how soon a decision could be made or what charges, if any, will be filed.
The police chief in Hudson, up in Weld County, is on administrative leave, and we're working to figure out why. The interim police chief told us that Hudson Police Chief Scott Sedgwick is on leave for what they describe as a personnel matter. According to his LinkedIn page, he's been the chief up there since 2022. Most recently, he's faced questions about the town's decision to place a speed camera on the northbound side of County Road 49. At a meeting in mid-April, Chief Sedgwick told town council the camera was writing an average of 1,000 tickets per day. About 1 in 5 cars passing the camera was ticketed. It's not clear if that controversial camera and whether they followed state law putting it in has anything to do with this sudden personnel matter. At this point, we don't know what happened. The interim police chief tells 9 News that he got the interim gig on Thursday. We've reached out to the chief and have not heard back. Well, the Avs bounced back in pretty impressive fashion from their mid-series loss to the Wild.
Yeah, they did. Game 4 tonight, they took it, bringing them one win closer to the conference finals. 9 News Sports anchor Scotty Gaines joins us. It was a bloody good win.
It was. It really was. And you know what? I know we love the 9 goals in Game 1 and all that. This was the most impressive victory of the entire playoffs for me, in my opinion.
The players don't love the 9-goal game.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they responded today. We learned so much about this team, and especially because it wasn't just Nathan McKinnon. It wasn't just Cale Makar, the stars playing out of their mind. We